Number 8. The Fallen Angels. Space Marines are already the deadliest soldiers in the Imperium. They are 8-foot-tall super soldiers built for war, but some inspire a different kind of fear. The Fallen are the least terrifying given their looks, but still absolutely deadly. 10,000 years ago, the Dark Angels were the Emperor's first and most honored legion. Then half of them turned against the Imperium. Led by Luther, they rebelled on their home world of Caliban. The battle destroyed the planet, and the surviving traitors were scattered across time and space by the warp. Ever since then, the loyal Dark Angels have hunted those survivors, and they will do almost anything to keep that secret buried. The Fallen still wear the Legion's original jet black armor from before the Horus Heresy, long before the Dark Angels adopted their modern green. Some work as mercenaries, some hide behind false identities, others simply wander the galaxy trying to survive. Every one of them carries a Space Marine's full combat ability and thousands of years of battlefield experience. If you encounter a fallen angel, you are facing a veteran soldier with no loyalty, no backup, and no reason to show mercy. But they still think like humans. They make decisions, and you can reason with them or predict their moves. Compared to everything else on this list, that is good news. What makes them scary is what comes after them. The moment the loyal Dark Angels find a trail, they will abandon entire wars to hunt them. They leave allies behind. They ignore planetary governors. If they catch a fallen alive, they'd take him to the hidden cells within the rock, the Dark Angels' fortress monastery. There, dark priests will spend years breaking his body just to get a single word of regret before they kill him. The Fallen opens this list because they're still human enough to understand. If the worst thing you have to face is a Fallen, you're lucky, as it only gets darker from here. Number 7. The Rubric Marines. After the Horus Heresy, the Thousand Sons were in crisis. Their gene seed had been unstable for generations, twisting many of their warriors into horrific mutations. Ahriman, chief librarian of the Thousand Sons, cast a massive psychic ritual known as the Rubric of Ahriman to save his legion once and for all. The spell worked, but it also destroyed everything it was meant to save. Every Marine without significant psychic power was vaporized inside his armor. Their bodies became psychic ash and dust, but their minds remained, still aware, still trapped inside their sealed suits of ornate Tzeentchian armor. They became mindless automatons, able to move and fight only under the command of a living sorcerer. Without one, they simply stand where they were left and wait. Imagine a wall of ancient armor crossing an open courtyard in complete silence. No breathing and nothing shifting inside the suits. They raise their weapons as one and keep advancing. You immediately fire, but the rounds punch straight through their chest plates because there is nothing inside to hit. There is no fear and nothing to slow them down. They will carry out their last command until it is complete or their armor is destroyed. All the while, the consciousness trapped inside each suit experiences every second of it and has done so for 10,000 years. Rubric Marines rank 7th and above the Fallen because you can't fight them like normal Space Marines. Number 6. Legion of the Damned. Nobody knows exactly the origin of the Legion of the Damned. Early lore suggested they were the survivors of a lost loyalist chapter called the Firehawks, changed beyond recognition after an accident in the warp. Modern lore points to something even stranger, that they are manifestations of the Emperor's own will, formed from the souls of Space Marines who died during the Horus Heresy. Games Workshop has never confirmed either explanation, and the mystery is part of what makes them so unsettling. What everyone agrees on is how they fight. They appear without warning in the middle of warp storms or desperate Imperial war zones, wearing pitch-black Mark 7 power armor covered in painted skulls. They don't speak and definitely don't answer vox calls. They simply find the enemy and destroy it. No wounded left behind, nothing but fields of smoldering ash and the soldiers they came to save, left staring in silence at a ghostly army that vanished as suddenly as it appeared. The Legion of the Damned land at number 6 because you can't prepare for them. They appear without warning and disappear before anyone can figure out what happened. At number 5, the Wulfen. The Space Wolves carry a genetic flaw they have never fully explained. The Canis Helix, the unique gene seed inherited from their Primarch, Leman Russ, gives them their famous wolf-like traits, heightened senses, a deep connection to the harsh world of Fenris, and an instinct for fighting as a pack. In some warriors, it doesn't stop there. The transformation keeps going until there is almost nothing left of the Space Marine. The Wulfen are the end result. They have thick fur bursting through cracked armor. They have fangs and sharp claws. They cannot speak anymore. They only howl. Their smart minds are buried under a wild, hungry instinct. The Space Wolves hunt their changed brothers. They lock them in deep ice cells, but many escape, forcing the chapter to hunt them across the stars. You will hear them before you see them. Howls come from every direction. By the time you count them, they are already inside your lines. They do not move like soldiers. They move like starving predators. Wulfen takes the 5th spot because this can happen anywhere. The soldier next to you could turn without warning. By then, it is already too late. Number 4, the Possessed. A Chaos Space Marine is already a deadly warrior, but a Chaos Space Marine who invites a demon into his body is a nightmare. This is the Possessed. They perform a dark ritual to let a monster from the warp inside them. What comes out is a mix of flesh and pure evil. Their power armor melts into living skin, arms turn into giant claws with extra eyes that tear open across their helmets, and teeth grow out of their chest plates. Their bodies never stop changing. The demon inside has no idea what a human should look like, so it just keeps twisting the flesh. The Marine loses all control. Man and demon fuse together into one single monster. Picture this thing running at you. It still looks a bit like a Space Marine, but it is not human anymore. Every bullet you fire just makes it angrier. The demon does not care about battle plans. It only wants to rip apart the nearest living thing. The possessed take the 4th spot because they have no limits. An ancient demon is driving a super soldier's body. It will push that flesh way past its breaking point just to kill you. Number 3. The Noise Marines. The Emperor's children were once the most refined of the Space Marine legions, obsessed with perfection in everything they did. By the end of the Horus Heresy, that obsession had turned into madness. The legion gave itself to Slaanesh, and its chief apothecary, Fabius Bile, altered the warriors who would become the first Noise Marines. Their senses were pushed far beyond anything a human could survive. Normal sights and sounds mean nothing to them anymore. Silence feels empty. They can only feel the loudest and most violent sensations imaginable, the roar of artillery and the deafening scream of their own weapons tearing people apart. Sonic blasters and blastmasters don't fire bullets. They fire lethal sound. It passes through walls, around cover, and through the gaps in your armor until it reaches your body. Your eardrums burst first, then your chest tightens, then your lungs begin to fill with blood. Imagine falling to your knees before you've even seen the enemy. First, your eardrums pop, then your chest squeezes. Finally, your lungs fill with blood. You drop to your knees before you even see them. Your teeth shake and every breath hurts. By the time they show up, you are already dead. Noise Marines belong in the top 3 because they don't have to get close to kill tens of thousands of people and could wipe out the entire population of a city. You can hide from a monster, but you can't hide from the noise. Number 2. The Plague Marines. During the Horus Heresy, the Death Guard became trapped inside the warp while traveling to Terra, where a supernatural disease known as the Destroyer Plague spread through every ship and turned one of the toughest legions in the Imperium into helpless victims. Space Marines who had survived centuries of war began rotting alive inside their own sealed armor as flesh peeled away, organs liquefied, and bones cracked beneath swollen skin, yet the Plague refused to grant them the mercy of death. Their Primarch, Mortarion, finally surrendered the entire legion to Nurgle, the chaos god of decay, and the unbearable agony disappeared the moment they accepted his gift. What remained was no longer the Death Guard that had once fought for the Emperor, but an army of Plague Marines who had become walking monuments to disease and corruption. A Plague Marine survives because pain has lost all meaning, and because wounds that should destroy any living creature simply become another part of the nightmare shambling towards you. Bolter rounds rip through his body, blades carve away flesh and limbs, and explosions tear open his armor, yet none of it slows him down. Every step poisons the world around him. Crops wither into black sludge, rivers become breeding grounds for disease, and the air fills with invisible contagions that spread long before the Plague Marine reaches his target. His rusted armor has fused into rotting flesh, thick streams of pus seep through every crack, and clouds of bloated flies circle him like a living halo as parasites crawl through wounds that never heal. Even if you manage to destroy him, the danger has already escaped. The filth covering his armor remains in the soil, the diseases linger in the air, and every breath you take may already carry the infection that will rot you alive from the inside. They take the 2nd spot because defeating a Plague Marine does not end the attack. It only marks the moment the real horror begins. At number 1, the Death Company. The Blood Angels deploy the Death Company knowing exactly what will happen. They know these warriors will kill the wrong people. They know none will come home. They send them anyway. In this grim future, a weapon you cannot stop or call back is still a military asset. The Blood Angels carry a curse in their blood called the Black Rage. It comes from the death of their father, Sanguinius. It strikes without warning before a battle, and instantly, the Marine falls into a world of pure rage. He believes he is Sanguinius, and he feels his father's wounds opening on his own body. He sees his worst enemy right in front of him, and to his broken mind, the final war is happening right now, and killing the enemy is all that matters. This madness makes him strong, and it gives him a piece of his father's divine power. He is stronger than he was yesterday, and you cannot reason with him. The Blood Angels paint their armor black, and they mark it with red crosses for the wounds their father took. They get chain swords for the carnage ahead, while chaplains scream holy words just to keep them moving toward the enemy. Other commanders get a warning to get out of the way. When the Death Company hits, the battle changes. They tear through walls and anyone too slow to run. At this point, they cannot tell a friend from an enemy. They are the most terrifying because they are supposed to be the heroes. They fight next to you, then the rage takes over. Suddenly, they want to kill you too. When the reinforcements sent to save you are just as dangerous as the monsters, nowhere is safe. Thanks for watching until the end. Click here to check out another video and see you in the next one.